Hey guys, it's Coco Tarot, and today we have a pick a card on the topic of what is your timeless traits, okay? What makes you a classic? So a classic just really means what makes you high quality. We have 6 piles today, okay? And it's based off of the thumbnail picking a city. So pile number 1 is going to be Boston. Pile number 2 is going to be New York. Pile number 3 is going to be St. Louis. Pile number 4 is going to be San Francisco. Pile number 5 will be Los Angeles. And pile number 6 will be New Orleans. But you can pick whatever pile you're drawn to, or if you're drawn to more than one of them, and we're just going to get right into it, and I will see you guys in your piles. Hey, pile number 1, we're going to get right into your reading and see what makes you a classic. What are your timeless traits? I'm going to put the cards out and then we're going to get right into it. But you picked Boston. Okay. So you got the Eternal Child, Garden Heliotrope, Devotion and Dreams Fulfilled, Love, oh, the Five of Swords, the Chariot, oh my gosh, the Ten of Pentacles and the Tower, wow. Okay, right off the bat, I'm getting, if you are a masculine, well, regardless, masculine or feminine, you're like the person, the classic hero. You're the person that if someone is being bullied, you step in and defend them. Even if you don't know this person, you are the classic, that energy of, don't mess with my friends or don't mess with my loved ones. Or if someone calls you in need, you rush in and help them. I think that you are the classic lover. You're a lover, not a fighter, but if you have to fight, it's in the name of love. Okay? You're someone who is the classic mother, the classic father, the classic grandma, grandpa. Like you definitely are someone who protects the youth. You protect the future. You create the future, so you could be a parent of some sort. You definitely have like lineage or things that you pass down that can help the world, the collective, people in general. You're that classic energy of the person who's gonna do good, who's gonna do right, who's gonna do the right thing. If you were a character in a movie or a book, you would be the person who is always in the right. You know what I mean? People could make up theories and say that you're a bad person. I think you're the classic good guy, good girl. So that does mean classically you have been stepped on or taken advantage of by a lot of people. I think your energy is one of almost too good to be true. Like you're the type of person where when people meet, they're like, I didn't even know people like you still existed. People who are so kind, who are so loving. There is a Christ consciousness about your energy, which makes you feel classic as well, because people feel like this classic kindness or this classic hospitality when they're around you. Like, you're the type of person when people are in your home, you're like, yeah, go ahead, go to the fridge. You don't even have to ask for something to drink. Like, go make yourself something to eat. My house is your house. You're also that classic person that people love to spend the night at your house because you aren't the friend to not have blankets and pillows and you know what I mean, or the relative. Like you always have a guest room and you have blankets and pillows and it's a very comfy vibe with you, very comfortable. You're classic because you feel like home. That's what it is. You have this way of making people feel comfortable, and that's a timeless energy within itself because it's hard to feel comfortable. Most of us have anxiety and all this other stuff, and I think you're someone that people feel a lot of comfort with. And you're not just classic, you're classy. So with the tower here too, I do feel like you're the type of person that if you're married or if you get married in the future, if you have a partner, you're the type to be like through sickness and through health. Like if you take vows, I think you take your vows very seriously and you mean like, if your husband or wife are in a coma, you'll read them books for 10 years before you pull the plug. You know what I mean? I think you're someone who's very devoted in life and in death to your romantic partners, to your children. Um, I'm not gonna lie, you have that classic energy of like, my kid is never wrong. Like, if someone's calling you about your kid, the teacher or something, you're like, no, the teacher's wrong. You do have that classic energy of, just being that parent who defend your kid regardless if your kid did wrong or not. This is giving unconditional love, even if, you know, things don't always pan out right or look right or whatever it is. You're always in defense of the people you love. And I think that's why you have this eternal child energy coming out, is because you're like eternally giving to the people around you. You're the classic, you know, like I said, mom and dad trope. The one in the sitcom that convinces the main character, like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do that, Jimmy. That wouldn't be a good idea. Like, you know what I mean? Open, honest, and truthful is really what I'm seeing here upon number one. You're very comforting, and you're that person. I'm hearing that song from is it Three's Company, where it's like, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Like, you know, that's what I'm feeling. You know everybody's name in the neighborhood. Everyone in the neighborhood knows your name. It's like, oh, hey, how you doing? You're honestly like the perfect citizen, pal number one. But that is your reading, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pal 2. We're going to get right into your reading and see what makes you a classic. What are your timeless traits? You pick the city of New York, darling. And we're going to get the cards out, and then I'm going to go into the message. Okay, you got the Creator, the Camellia, Destiny, Grow, the Hangman, the Prince of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Okay, pile number 2. You are classic because you're the brains of the operation. You're the person who knows the random fact or the random clue that can really help somebody. So you could have a lot of knowledge about plants in particular with all this greenery here. Botanist, herbology. I think you're classic because you're the type of person who, if someone has a mosquito bite, you're chewing up some grass and spitting on it and know how to make some kind of salve or something. You know facts about things that people don't know, but they end up helping people. So you're the person in like a sitcom or a story who would be the key to the puzzle. So the other characters could in no way, shape, or form have made it without you. I'm thinking about Harry Potter. Imagine if they didn't have Hermione. They wouldn't have been able to do more than half the things that they did, you know? So you're a very important, integral part of people's lives. I think that you bring wisdom in a very natural way. It's not a sort of mysticism wisdom, it's the kind of wisdom that is just, you know, like plants. It's natural. You always know what to say in any kind of situation. With the Creator and the Hangman and the Six of Wands, I'm also getting a Mr. Miyagi energy of you, you know, being like, catch the stone and that sort of thing. You're someone who always has the riddle and the fact for the right moment. You could be poetic or write poems. I just heard, oh, Captain, my Captain. But with this Two of Swords here and this girl standing between the pillars, like I said, there's something about you. What's classic about you is that you always have something to teach. And I feel as if it's rarely with family members, but more people outside of your family or even children or people that are younger than you. You tend to be an aunt or an older sibling to them, or an uncle. Like, you just kind of take them under your wing. You have that classic energy of the cool aunt or the cool uncle, or the sibling in a family that's just really earthy and completely different from everyone else, but very, very smart. With the plants here, I'm getting genius energy, like a quiet but knowing genius. It's giving Virgo. It's giving a very Virgo energy with all the like growth and green. I don't know. I don't think Virgos are green. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I'm trying to say. With the green there, it's just giving very, you know, that energy of growth. The Hermit, you know, the Hermit card is really, it's not here, but it's about going in and learning and growing, and that's what I'm seeing here. You're classic because you have something to teach. And it's rarely things that people already know, pile number two. You could indulge in classic art or classic literature, classic music. I think that you very much are into classical things, but super classical. You could listen to Beethoven in your spare time while you're watering your plants and making homemade lip gloss or, homemade lotions or whatever it is. You're very crafty. You're a classic crafty king or queen. I mean, what's more classic than a rose or a cactus or a tree? It's very familiar to all of us because it's something that we've seen our whole lives and that we're used to, things that just kind of like grow out of the earth naturally and that we grow to appreciate. So you're classic because you have that air about you where I think when people are around you, maybe you're a technophobe, you don't like to be on your phone, you like to read books and make art and connect with people and connect with bugs and animals and things. And when people are around you, it feels very classic because it feels like the good old days when life was simple and quiet and we can learn things from the trees and our friends and the sky. And you could like to cloud watch. Whoever you are, you would make an excellent kindergarten teacher or something, or an art teacher. Very much Bob Ross, like, there's no accidents, only happy mistakes. Or is it the opposite? There's no mistakes, only happy accidents. But yeah, pal number two, you're super earthy and super cool, as classic as the trees. But that is your reading, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pal three. We're going to get right into your reading and see what makes you a classic. What are your timeless traits? You picked the city St. Louis. So we're going to get right into it and see what your message is. I'm going to lay out the cards and then we'll get into it. We got Kairos, Dahlia, Dignity, Sweetness, the Moon, the Ace of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Empress. Wow. A wise man has dignity without pride. A fool has pride without dignity. So right off the bat, pile number three, what makes you a classic is you're the classic saying of if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it. There's something here with the Empress and the King of Pentacles and the Dignity, where you kind of keep business and pleasure separate, okay? Your private life and your business life or work life are always separate. I'm hearing save face. So you're the type of person who probably doesn't tell their coworkers everything about them or keeps a certain distance between certain people, especially in work atmospheres, compared to your private life. So I don't see you as the type of person to really hang out with the people that you go to school with or work with outside of that. You have this dualistic nature where when you're the King of Pentacles, you're the King of Pentacles. And then when in your private life, you're this sweetness and this Empress, regardless masculine or feminine. You are classic because you know when to keep it professional and when to let loose. You could even be very professional when it comes to your attire. So if you go to interviews or certain events that require a certain attire, you always stick to that. If it's a white party, you always wear white. If it is, a wedding, you don't wear white or, stuff. You're just very much classic on your etiquette of social events and professionality. You'd probably be the type to say that people nowadays don't have any work ethic because you have a very strong work ethic. I think you work really hard because in order to get a payout, you have to work hard. You're definitely not the type of person to just leisurely sit around and wait for life to come to them. You're that classic person of like life needs hard work and discipline and structure. With the Moon here and the Kairos, you definitely have a lot of secrets that aren't necessarily negative. They could be depending on who you are, but I'm seeing it more as there are just certain things that you won't tell certain people. So you're classic in that you're private, pile number three. You're a private person. What's funny about this Kairos card is the card itself talks about timelessness or the other time, divine timing, that sort of thing. So you are very classic because you believe in, I don't want to say fate and destiny, but more that if it's meant for me, it'll come to me. Or if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. You definitely have no regrets. But there is a private side to you. It reminds me of celebrities from back in the day before social media when you didn't really know much about them unless you read a gossip magazine or an interview that they did. There was this air of privacy, and you have that pile number three where you have your face that you put on for the world, and then when you're home or when you're with people that you trust or in your private life, you are very open. So you could be the type of person who is an introvert when you don't really know people that well, but the people you know very well, you become extroverted around. But overall, pile number three, you are a classic within itself. You exhibit classic behavior. You're someone who has a very old school mindset, but not the type that holds you back, the type that has a riddle or a pun or something to say about everything, strap up those bootstraps or go big or go home, that sort of thing. But that is your reading, pal number three, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pal number four. We're going to get right into your reading and see what makes you a classic. What are your timeless traits? I'm going to get the cards out and then we're going to go into the message. But first things first, I will say I'm filming your pile first for some reason. I felt very drawn to film your pile first. And with San Francisco being the city that you picked, I kept hearing that song by Scott something. The first name is Scott something, but it's called San Francisco. I'll put it in the description box, but you could be embarking on something new right now, or there's something about your energy that's like new. Okay? We got the shaman, the hyacinth, playfulness, confidence, the four of swords, the princess of pentacles, the queen of swords, and the four of wands. Yeah. Okay, so pal number four, you're definitely a classic hippie type, or you could dress bohemian or be, the type like that song says with flowers in your hair. There's something very new about your energy. I feel like what makes you classic is the fact that you're someone who ends up being a lot of people's first times in a lot of different ways. So the first time they eat a certain food, or the first time they go a certain place, the first time they have some kind of experience, you know what I mean? You're that person. With the Queen of Swords here, you have that classic energy of our memories together are going to teach you something. We're going to have this amazing conversation until 3 a.m. That's healing. Or we're going to go to the kava bar. And you know what I mean? There's something here that is very fun with that confidence, but very meaningful with the shaman. And with the Four of Wands, you have this classic energy of like a best friend or someone that people trust and always know that when they call you, they're gonna have a good time. So a very outgoing nature. You have this energy too of the boy next door or the girl next door, kind of, I don't know, that person who gives main character energy, but the way I'm seeing it is, those movies like The Perks of Being a Wallflower or things like that, where there's a main character, but the main character is very enamored by this other character in the story. That's who you are. You're that character in the story that even though you're not the main character, you're the person that all the fans say is the favorite. Okay, you're like the favorite person because there's something about you that's so like you have a lot of comic relief, so maybe you're someone who makes people laugh, or you have this classic energy of, oh, they're always going to have something to say that's going to lighten the mood. And that's what you are. You were someone who was written in to be like the comic relief, but you end up being the fan favorite, is what I'm seeing here. That's really what makes you classic. You could have a very, I'm hearing a timeless beauty. So you could have like a vintage beauty look to you. Maybe you could have shorter hair, pin curls, those curls that are heatless that you kind of pin, or I'm seeing some old world stuff where, in the 50s where they would curl their hair with like little napkins or little tassels and kind of tie them. You could do heatless curls or something to your hair. If you are a masculine, you might have curly hair or like a thick facial hair or really dark hair. I'm seeing really dark hair. Not if you're a feminine though, but regardless of who you are, you have this classic element of the boy or girl next door. That's really what this is, but in a hippie way. You know how we all have that hippie friend who we're like, oh, they're always on an adventure. You're always an adventure with the playfulness here. Play is the royal road to childhood happiness and adult brilliance. That's what I mean. You're someone who's like someone's first, psychedelic experience, first kiss. I think that you have this classic energy about you too, where the people that you've had these first encounters with, they look back and think of these memories. And with the shaman here, it's like these memories that they cherish and they love, where they felt alive and they felt, you know, like life had meaning. You have that classic energy of making people feel like, oh, this has meaning. These are times we're going to look back on and be happy about. You're definitely someone who is a high quality friend. You're there for the people that you love. You will fight for the people that you love. You will cry for the people that you love. You're someone where if someone you love is going through pain, you feel that pain also. Very empathetic, but I don't know, just real cool. Like, I feel like you're someone who could really just you could go to the fancy places and do fancy things, but you're also someone who could just chill in a t-shirt and some shorts and eat some chips after the pool and hang out. You know what I mean? That you're very much that friend, very comforting, but knowing, very deep. You could be someone who does tarot cards while you're drinking wine with your friends or family. You know what I mean? You're that friend that's like, oh, they're always on to something. I'm seeing someone, your style could vary because either you dress really like jingly and lots of accessories and very, you know, not even just bohemian, but lots of accessories, or you're just in like sweatpants and a t-shirt with nothing on. So I think you go to extremes when it comes to your style. I'm picking up on like Aquarius energy, how they're kind of, you don't have to be Aquarius, but Aquariuses have very like flamboyant energy with how they dress and their style and, you know, if you're a masculine, you could paint your fingernails black or something like that. You're just really different, but really cool. And that's what makes you a classic, the classic boy or girl next door. But that is your reading, pile number 4. And I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pal 5, we're going to get right into your reading and see what makes you a classic. What are your timeless traits? I'm going to get the cards out first before we go into the message. But you picked the city of LA, the city of angels. The peony, prosperity and compassion. Passion. The Eight of Wands. The Three of Pentacles. The Prince of Wands. You got an extra card, pile number 5. You actually got 5 cards. So the number 5 could be significant. So the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands. Okay. Pile number 5, you're definitely the classic Don Juan or femme fatale energy. I think that you tempt a lot of people. I'm thinking of sirens. There's a lot of people that feel tempted by your energy. You have that quiet luxury about you. So although people are very drawn to you and they feel this like passion and heat toward your energy, it's also very intimidating. Okay, you have that classic intimidation about you. I'm also hearing classically sexy. So for some of you guys, like if you're feminine, there could always be a slit in your dress, or if you're a masculine, you could always have your top buttons undone so you can show off like a tattoo or some chest hair. There's always this air of sexy about you. You could wear classic jewelry, so gold jewelry, or like classic chains. There's something here about your accessories and jewelry in particular. I'm seeing like you wear like real gold or real silver. You don't really wear costume jewelry or things that aren't real. If you are into watches, I think you're into like Invictas or really, nice watches, Rolexes, things like that. You have a classic luxury about you as well. It's like a luxurious sexiness. I'm also seeing, I don't know if you guys know about like the Madonna horror complex. Like, if you are a feminine here, I think a lot of masculines put you in a category of um like this innocence, but also this innocence to be like defiled in a way. I know that sounds crazy, but that's like what I'm getting, that complex here. People, they're very tempted by you, but since you have that air of luxury and that intimidation, they're afraid of your wit. So you could be like very witty or sarcastic. You have like a classic sarcasm to you where people kind of never know if you're serious. Like, are you seriously flirting or are you just, bored? People could question this. You're always on the move as well. There's a fast energy here. And I know in some contexts, fast can mean promiscuous, but what I'm really seeing here is like fast is in you're always on the go. So it could be hard to keep up with your energy. You could be into classic cars, or if you have a car, you're into like detailing it and like getting the seats done. And it's very much things of a high caliber or high quality. So you could be the type of person that's very much like quality over quantity, or you save up or you spend your money on luxury like items that are well made. I don't see you shopping anywhere that does like fast fashion or anything like that. And it's not like you dress vintage or something, or you have this like costumey-ness to the way that you dress. It's just very much sexy. Like, you always smell good, or there's always a little skin, or there's always, you know what I mean, a sexy car attached, or a nice condo, or is giving luxury, classic luxury, pearls. And if you're married and you have a diamond ring, it's the fattest of diamond rings. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I think what's also classic about you is you're the type of person that people have to put a ring on it. Like, masculine or feminine, I don't see you really entertaining energies romantically that aren't serious and about commitment with the Three of Pentacles here. You are definitely someone who won't even entertain people that you feel like are not on your level. What's classic about you is that you got to be VIP to get in. Okay, you can't really just be like anybody. So there could be a lot of people that like know of you and is like, oh, try to reach you, but they can't because you just don't put up with anything that isn't worth putting up with. I'm thinking of like James Bond or that Marilyn Monroe movie where she sings about, diamonds being a girl's best friend. That's who you are, pile number five. You're very much luxury, sexy, I'm out of your league type of energy. But that is your reading, pile number five, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pal number six, we're gonna get right into your reading and see what makes you a classic. What are your timeless traits? You picked the city of New Orleans, okay? New Orleans make me think of those, what are they, beignets, little powdered sugar donuts. Wow, I've never been in New Orleans, but I'd love to go. That city is ancient, isn't it? It's a pretty old city, so maybe you're an old soul, but we're gonna get the cards out and get into your message and see what is here. So you got the Judge, Lily, Majesty and Virtue. Ooh, okay. Rest, the Queen of Hearts, the Princess of Swords, the Eight of Hearts, and the Five of Pentacles. Wow. Pile number six, your energy is so different. You're classical in a different way. I'm immediately picturing women of this era with their fans and like sitting in the public square talking gossip and that kind of thing. You're classical in the way that you judge situations, the way that you gossip, okay? Because I don't know, I'm feeling like you're a little gossiper here. You're classic in the way that you take no ish, okay? I'm thinking of Judge Judy right now. You're very much with the majesty and virtue. Even though you talk your ish, you'll back it up. So you're the type of person where you can gossip and stuff, but it's not anything that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. You're definitely someone who can walk the walk and talk the talk. You definitely back up the game that you have. And I think that you're classic because you're unapologetic. We live in an age now where everybody's apologizing for everything, you know, for being themselves, for liking something, for saying something, for doing something. It's always this energy of, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But you're the type of person who's like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm thinking of that Demi Lovato song. You're like, I'm not really sorry for what I said or what I did. That's just who I am. You're definitely rare. Like it says here, the lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare. Your name could be Lily, or that could be a significant name. But even with the rest here, you could have a resting bee face that you're just classical because you're the Regina George. Okay, Regina George, she was the ultimate mean girl. But when you watch that movie, you can't help but kind of love her. Even though she's a little bit rough around the edges and she's totally mean, you sympathize with her, you empathize with her, and I'm not calling you mean, pile number six. I don't think that you're mean. I just think that you're very much so honest in yourself that other people could call you mean. And it's not being mean because I don't think that you're two-faced. Okay? It's one thing to gossip and then pretend and be nice to someone's face. But I don't even want to call it gossip because you just tell it how it is. And then that person, if they're like, I heard you were talking about me, you were like, yeah, I was. And here's what I said. Here's exactly what I said. So you definitely could have in the past been judged as the classic mean girl or the classic B word or the classic boss bee, or, you could have even had masculines or, say certain things about you. Or if you're a masculine, you could have had a lot of people call you a jerk or write you off as an F boy, or because you like to do some locker room talk or gossip with your guy friends about stuff that maybe most people wouldn't be saying, but you will say it. I think you're very honest and direct. And although a lot of people judge this about you, it's a classic energy because it's a true confidence in oneself. You seem rough around the edges, but I think on the inside, with the Queen of Hearts here, definitely you are the sweetest person ever. It makes me think of when you go to the doctor, sometimes the nurses that are fake nice or you think are nice won't really be the best nurses. The best nurses are the ones that are kind of like curt and short with you. And then 5 minutes later, they're telling you how to get extra pillows, where to go to get the good free snacks. Like you seem rough, but you end up being the best person on somebody's team. So you will always defend your friends, or you will always be someone of virtue, like it says there. So although people don't get you at first, and it's a lot of energy, like whoa, 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 like I'm thinking about like an Aries type energy where it's explosive. You are the best person to have on somebody's team because you're down for the get down. Okay, if I pulled up at your house, pile number six, and I was like, we got to pull up on somebody. I would never do that. But if I did, you would be like, all right, what do I need to bring? You'd be down to come, beat some butt with me. Okay. So I feel as if you you are black and white in that way. You could be gothic or like gothic styles. You could be a classic goth. That could be something that's very classic about you. You could be someone who wears really red lipstick or really black lipstick or really bold eyes. And people could be like, because it's like, whoa, why are you wearing all this or being so. But that's just your expression. You have a beautiful sense of expression about you. And people, they may feel a certain way about you, but they still invite you places and they still want to be around you. You're very popular. You have a classic popular mean girl energy, but the funny thing is, the gag is you're the Queen of Cups. You're not even a mean girl. You're very sweet. You're just a little rough around the edges, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're a classic baddie, if I do say so myself. But that is your reading, pile number six, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.